Okay, we're live on Facebook, so let's get started. Yay. Okay, yeah, good morning. Thanks for coming. And actually, I need to go back and check out my page to check some chats if there's any. Okay, so this is co-facilitators talking about upcoming class, mini Satori course, spiritual kindergarten. And we have Rebecca and Gary, and maybe Stefan will show up later or not. We'll see. So I just wanted to introduce the idea of this course. And if there are any questions in the chat, we'll try to answer those questions. But first of all, I just wanted to introduce the co-facilitators and talk about our intention, why we're doing this, and what we think we can help people with. So does that sound good? Okay, good. Okay, so I'm just gonna start. We're gonna go around and do a quick introduction, go around, and then our intention, and then we'll just open to discussion about this course. So I'm Eddie. My external identifiers are I'm a healthcare professional for the past 27 years. I'm originally from Japan, and I have been a life coach for about 15 years. So that's kind of outside roles. And then, but instead, I've had this awakening experience when I was really young, and but I didn't know what to do with it until I found Finder's Course about 5 years ago, and then I found what it was. And then I found the people, I can talk to. So I just thought maybe there are people out there who are confused. Maybe they're in and out of awakening state, but don't know what it is, how to place them, and didn't know who else to talk to. So anyway, so that's why I thought there might be a course or a community that can provide support and help. And if somebody's kind of getting a glimpse, but not sure if that's what it is or not, maybe we can just give them a reassurance. Yeah, you got it. Or you're not quite there. We can just give them a little push. Just kind of look this way and open your eyes, take off your dark glasses, and you see right there. So I thought we have a lot to offer in not so too serious way, just in a fun, lighthearted, you can do it, it's fun, just come join us kind of atmosphere. So that's my intention for the spiritual kindergarten. So let's hear from Rebecca. Welcome. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being a co-facilitator of my kindergarten.
Yeah, I'm excited about this, and welcome everyone, whoever's here. I can't see the live Facebook, but I hope you're out there. I'm Rebecca, one of your guides for this upcoming course. About 7 years ago, on this Earth Soul journey, I experienced a shift of consciousness. And in that 7 years, there have been several more shifts, insights, and realizations. So during this course, I'll share some of those shifts and guide you along your own journey to what we call functional enlightenment, living your life in the naturalness of the living moment, in equanimity and well-being. So one of the most significant moments in my shift of consciousness was when I realized that what I was worrying and stressing about didn't matter at all. And I laughed uproariously at myself. We hope to bring you to that moment as well. That's it.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, good. Gary, welcome. Thank you for joining us. You and with your trident. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so a few years ago, I made a little video which I called 50 Years a Seeker. That was a few years ago. So now I could probably make a video that I would title 55 Years of Seeker. In other words, I've been doing this stuff for a long time. As as many people have been. You know, and so I've drawn, you know, from all my experience, a few conclusions, and you know, I kind of would like to pass that, like you guys have said, like to pass that along, help people make that shift or that transition from, you know, the way of thinking that you have, you know, growing up and entering, you know, life, that, you know, you're a separate being and the world is out there and I got to find out how I'm going to negotiate this whole thing and I'm going to die and all that stuff, you know, to what is called a paradigm shift, where you're not seeing it that way anymore. You're saying, oh no, hey, I'm the whole thing in which all this stuff is happening. Of, you know, so, you know, I like the word guide because, you know, that's what we're doing. You know, I'm not a guru. I'm not even a teacher. I'm not even a coach. But, you know, I feel I have enough stuff going on that I can help, you know, aid people in making that basic fundamental shift that, you know, you've both experienced in your life, and I certainly have experienced it in my life, and so we're here to help. But as you say, in a lighthearted way. It's not heavy. It's not like, oh, you know, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to do this. You know, no, you'll be able to do it. Don't worry about it. Just, you know, just hang out and take the course. It's a good course.
Yeah,
Even if I say so myself. Because I'm a facilitator.
right. Let's see. So I just want to, you know, I'll go back to the atmosphere and how we're going to help. But just as a structure, it's a 3 months weekly Zoom call and live sessions. And you're going to get handouts. You're going to get guided meditations. You're going to get a homework, easy homework, not like you have to sit for 60 minutes every single day. You could do that. You're welcome to do that. That's effective. But it doesn't work for everybody. So we're going to give you some choices, maybe a little bit more light-hearted way, but very effective exercises, positive psychology, some meditation, and guided meditation. We're going to do probably pretty much every week. Sometimes I'm going to guide, sometimes Rebecca might guide, and sometimes Gary, well, for sure, Gary is going to guide 3 meditations, and Stefan will guide a couple. You're going to do 3 Trident, 3 transformational training. Yeah, that 3. And so that's the structure. But we already got some questions, and there are people who are on the other side of the planet and they cannot make it to the live call, and that's totally okay. Everything is going to be recorded so they can watch the video. You can ask us questions anytime. So we will take care of you. We'll kind of help you make the shift. And you know, in my mind, it's not even a shift or just shift of perspective. That might be a good way to put it. And also, as I mentioned earlier, you know, as we grow up, we learn so many things in schools from parents and peers, and to look things in a certain way or just speaking the language by itself, it's about kind of having prejudice and certain way of seeing things. So just kind of take off the glasses, just see as it is, just the way it is, without naming things, without putting any extra meaning to it, just the way it is. So that's sort of what we want to help you with. So so let's see if we can just kind of open to discussion, kind of free discussion. But if you're gonna unmute yourself, I can unmute you. But I think it was kind of, Rebecca, you were having the little echo. So if you can turn off whatever the other side. Did you then, so we don't have
Well,
the...
yeah, I got on live Facebook, and I think that was what was the echo. So it's not doing it now, right?
Right. Yeah. No. Okay.
I got
Perfect.
off
So,
that.
yeah. So all of us can unmute, and yeah. So free discussion, whatever that comes to our mind.
Okay, I have something because I wanted to tack on to what you just said. So people who are looking and say, oh, you know, like, what's the course about it? What am I getting for my money? Okay, well, one extra is it's not limited to just the recorded sessions or the live sessions. People will have access to emailing any of the facilitators at any time with any question. So you have there's another whole area of interaction that's not necessarily covered with the course. So that's a big plus, because I have found in my own experience, I've taken zillions of courses, retreats, you name it, and you don't always have access to the presenter. You don't always have access. So you have questions, and who are you going to ask? And then you send an email out, you never get a response. But here, we're aware of that because we've been through that. We're going to, you have a question, or you have comments, or you want to clear up anything, you can email any of us any time. So I think that's a big plus. So I want to throw that in there.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's true. But also, if it's a general questions, you can post on the Facebook, and that might get input from 4 of us too. We may have different perspective and different hints, tips. So you get support in that sense. And also coming back to what you said, Gary, earlier, there's so many courses, things, classes, retreats out there. But I kind of want to come back to the basics. So this is for somebody who's brand new, started thinking about spiritual path, started thinking about seeking, as well as somebody who's been there, done that, tired of doing seeking, still haven't got the results, and kind of come back to the basics. And this is the basics. Like I shared that I had this experience when I was really little. So in that sense, I think my awakening might be the kindergarten level. And I just, I didn't know what it was. So I just kind of preserved this kind of happy, open, talking to higher, whatever you call it, higher source, higher power, higher being. So I've always had that, but maybe it hasn't progressed. It's from the kindergarten, elementary school level. But on the other hand, that's available. That's, you don't have to know, you don't have to read books, you don't have to watch all kinds of videos, but it's available. Just be happy here now. And they're awesome. I read, watch videos sometimes, but there are wonderful teachers out there, don't get us wrong. So, those are great. But on the other hand, that's not necessary. Now you're already there, but we just need to kind of peel the onion skins and I show you, okay, so there you are, you already have it. You don't have to learn anything. We just need to kind of peel off a few layers and to show you who you are. So, so this is a kindergarten, not master's level. Anybody can do it. Anybody can access it. It's all natural, effortless. Just need a little tip, kind of turn you like a look this way kind of thing. Hey, Stefan is here.
This shows that Bitcoin.
Welcome, Stefan.
Oh, guys.
Good morning or good afternoon. Yeah, well, nice to have you here. So I'm not sure if you're ready to talk. Cool. Yay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so can you introduce yourself a little bit and your intention for facilitating this course, please?
Yeah, sure. I will be participating, and I will be doing a couple of exercises for the spiritual kindergarten. Typical kindergarten exercises, basically singing, movement, dancing, whatever, and everything that is kind of related to breath work, because this is kind of, for me, one of the most important and efficient practices that I'm doing.
Great. All right. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the breath work that I don't know too much about, but sounds like in a nutshell, you discovered the breath work and the finders, and then you pretty much conquered your chronic pain that you had. And
yeah.
So that was personally really useful for you, right?
Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. I was bedridden for quite some time, and then I discovered a technique that is quite, well, not very well known in the West. It's pretty popular in Russia and also in Australia and England. It's even recognized as an official asthma treatment, but there's much more application to that. And to me, it's you know, one of the main thing that really increases the well-being and also kind of helps you with you know, if you're kind of oscillating or having you know, more challenging experience. At least that was the case for me.
Mhm. Yeah, so for in addition to looking for awakening, if somebody's suffering from pain or depression, I think this is kind of, I don't know if you would say added bonus or not, but it's another aspect, another approach. So I think
Yeah,
that
well, I mean, to me, actually, it's kind of, it was very intertwined, you know, the more kind of the pain went away, the more I could, you know, I was having, you know, experience that would you probably categorize in Jeffrey's term as being on the continuum or something, you know. It was, for me, it was pretty much the same process, so to speak, you know.
Mhm. Yeah, wonderful. Okay, yeah, thank you for sharing. Okay, Rebecca, do you have anything to add?
Well, not at the moment. I'm wondering, do you have any questions from anyone on the live thing, or?
Right now, I
can't
don't
really-
see any. I don't see any questions.
Okay.
I've got a few things. If there's no
So-
questions, I got a few things to throw
Yeah.
out. Number one, I think people should also keep in mind is like, yes, it's kindergarten for like newbies, you know, who are, you know, maybe just thinking about exploring the spiritual path or have read about awakening and are interested. Okay, but it's also for people who have been on the path for quite a while and who kind of have maybe, you know, like kind of, and I've gone through this a number of times, so I know what it is. You kind of plateau out, things get flat, and you need to reboot. This is like a good opportunity to reboot your practice, reboot your spiritual quest, because I know what it's like to feel like you're in the desert. Yes, I've been wandering and I've, you know, blah, 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 made some progress, but now I'm just like, I'm in a flat zone. So this is a good opportunity to reboot. And the other thing I wanted to say was, you know, I'm always asking myself, why would people want to take this course? Okay, well, there's going to be a number of benefits, and another benefit will be, let's say, you know, I'll be doing like guided meditations, but it won't be just like a one-time shot. People will get, you know, the MP3. They could. The whole thing is like practicing at home. You're not gonna come online for 30 minutes and become enlightened. But you know, it's a process of, you know, practice. So there's going to be you know, PDFs. There's going to be email access. There's going to be these MP3s they could play. So there's a lot of good stuff here. So I just wanted to get that out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you, Gary.
Well, on that note, I love everything Gary's saying and agree with it. And from my perspective, what I sort of intend to do, I'm not really sure what's going to happen, but all along my path in this awakening process, several people, several pointers were very important for me. And I wasn't necessarily experiencing yet what those people were experiencing, but it gave me the thought and the idea that this is possible. You know, this shift is possible. A living meditation is possible. And so I would sort of put attention and intention on that, and pretty soon it was possible. And I experienced that. But I think what I would like to share are those pointers, those possibilities that are open to you, maybe not at this moment, but that you will evolve into. And so that's sort of my, that's my part in this party.
Yeah, thank you, Rebecca. That's exactly what I want to start with. And that's why I was going to launch this course by myself, but then three of you kind of jumped in and then showed interest. And I thought that's great to have four of us, because what I want to do is to normalize it. like make it like it's not some holy, sacred something woo-woo in heaven, but it's right here on earth in this room, on this Zoom. So it's right here. It's possible. So I just want to make it as normal as possible. It's possible for ordinary people. You don't have to be a guru, master, studying this for 50 years. But each of us pretty much, explored 50 years. So combined, we have about 200 years of experience here. But you don't need that. You can just take the course. Maybe day one, you might think, oh, it's possible. And in fact, maybe I'm in there. So what I want to do is make it normal, make it accessible. And then 4 of us are going to say pretty much the same thing, but from 4 different directions, or each of us might use a different pointers. I might use 5 different pointers. Stefan might use, 5 different pointers. So maybe something will click and then make the shift of perspective. And then we're going to repeat that, because even if you shift at the beginning, you always have a doubt, especially at the beginning. You're still going to doubt, oh, that was nice, but then I'm back to normal. Or something happened, I'm back to, I dropped out of it. So, but you don't drop out of it. You're still there. But when you need reassurance, no, you haven't. You're still good. You're still there. Just look this way. Don't look that way. So we just give you more pointers, support, community. So normalization, repetition, and support, community, lots of pointers. So I think this is sort of what the course Spiritual Kindergarten can offer. So
yeah. Can I say something about what Rebecca said? Because I actually, to me, she was always kind of what's the word? If you aspire to, basically, because she had that kind of also mythical thing, because she was the first one to transition and stuff. But I always found her very approachable. To me, it was always, and in a sense also Gary, although like character-wise, they're probably on different ends of the spectrum. But in one sense, I feel it's like they have a very similar approach, to that. In a sense, I'm not sure if I can say that, no bullshit approach that I always liked with Rebecca and Gary, and the whole idea of the kindergarten and what you talked about, sharing experiences and pointers, and that might facilitate something for the people who take the course. I mean, this is, I think, all of our experiences in the community, right? When we're interacting with people. And I just loved the idea. I think what you were trying to do just resonated with all of us. So that's, I think, why we all jumped on the bandwagon. And I'm super excited, and I'm really, really happy to do this with you. And I'm very, very curious about your session and stuff. So to me, I see this as a really awesome, not only as a teaching lesson or opportunity, but also as a learning opportunity,
Yeah.
And it's hot. Can I tell you how hot it is in Germany? I'm sorry, I have to. I'm sweating constantly, but it's like. But I don't want to complain, because I like warmth much more than cold. But it's really, man, it's really, really hot.
Yeah. Well, sorry, we are like 65 degrees over here, so very comfortable in Carmel, California. But yeah, you have a good point. So we are all here, and all of us pretty much done seeking. Maybe we have sought for 50 years plus, or explored for 50 years, but we were done with the seeking part. But we're still here, as human being, having this body, mind. Then we continue to enjoy life and learn new things and explore, being curious. So I think we're here, but we learn from each other, and experience something, another way of having fun, enjoy life. So yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing Rebecca, Gary, Stefan have to offer. So I'm really looking forward to learning together and just being in the kindergarten and play together.
Yes, Eddie, I call that no longer seeking, but still finding.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's my approach.
Wonderful.
Gary,
Gary.
what are you calling it? Poking the bear with the trident, or what are you calling it?
What am I calling it? I'm calling it the breakdown of distinctions between seeking, finding, and all kinds of dualities. It's the going beyond duality, but also recognizing the play or the role that duality plays in the grand scheme of non-duality. So a lot of it is about not seeing not seeing things in polarities, good, bad, this, that, like, but seeing the totality in which each thing has its own particular role, but it's all part of the grand plan, so to speak. So I don't know if I have a label for it because actually I want to get away from labels because if we call it non-duality, that means well, it ain't duality. Well,
Mhm.
non-duality, it's all inclusive. So like we're not going to get hung up on labels and this. Are you still seeking? No, no, I'm a finder. Or you get into that stuff. No, no, call me a seeker, call me a finder, call me whatever you want. I'm going to be exploring till the day I die. I'm going to be fleshing things out. And it's like Rebecca said, maybe seeking in one sense ends because you're not seeking what you originally set out to find. You found that, but the finding or the exploring or the deepening or keeps going on and on. Like, a good analogy is you look at the horizon. Well, the closer, if you step towards it, it recedes. You're never going to get to the horizon because it's going to keep receding. So that's what this is. So it's an ongoing exploration. So and it's fun. So that's the main thing too. Can't lose
Right.
sight of the fun aspect.
Yeah, definitely. I think of this as really plain, but also kind of unfolding. You're alive. You have so many years left. Who knows? But every day something happens. So life is unfolding, and I just take the path, whatever that opens up in front of me. So allowing things to happen, and then just enjoy it, whatever it is. So that's sort of my approach. But I totally agree about labeling, not naming, not putting any meanings. So in a sense, we use language. I think we're gonna have to, but I don't get hung up on wording terms so much. And we might call it Satori, enlightenment, consciousness, awareness, whatever. I'm gonna use these terms kind of more loosely. But at the master's level, PhD level, you say, oh, that's different. Enlightenment is different from awakening, totally different things. Like, I don't really care. So I'm just talking about just this. So if somebody step back, so we don't worry too much about dogma, philosophy, religion, strict terms, language, but it's more loosely like we're here, seeing things as is. So that's what I want to share. But everybody's going to use different language, terms, and then something probably will resonate with the students, and that's what I'm looking for. Let's try this approach. And so in that sense, it's a lot of play, but some people might want to argue, oh, you're not using the right language or right this or that. There's no such thing. Oh, another thing is we're going to bust a bunch of myths about awakening at the beginning. So you have to have a teacher, you have to sit for 1 hour, you have to seek 20 years. So we're just going to bust those myths first. And then, so in that sense, we're going to get the shortcut, the quickest way, shortcut right here, right now, and have fun. So that's what I'm hoping is going to happen in this kindergarten.
On one hand, we're busting myths. That's good. On the other hand, I'm working on a PDF that I'm going to present is like some of the marks or characteristics or signs of the awakened state. So in other words, we can look at how am I doing vis-a-vis these, and it's not all inclusive. I'm just picking out some. You know, how what's my life experience compared to these, let's say, characteristics or qualities of someone who would be considered, you know, awake or having shifted or whatever. And so that'll be another helpful tool. You have the myths here to debunk these ideas, and then and say, look, because people will say, what is it like to be whatever awakened to whatever you want to call it? Okay, well, here's some of the characteristics. How do you stack up with this? You know, not to beat yourself up if you don't stack up, but just to, hey, this is what we're talking about. And one of the things would be, I would say, just off the top of my head, because you mentioned death, you know, this idea of like, oh, I'm going to die. This is going to be, you know, that whole fear of death thing kind of gets blown out of the water. That's just one of the thing came to my mind because you mentioned it. But there's a number of other things. So we're going to be talking about that in one of our sessions.
Well, and I've heard you say 100 million times, Gary, that your mileage may vary. There is no one experience that everyone experiences. So I'm sure you will cover that in your PDF.
No, that's why I said some of the qualities, because yes, everybody's experience is different, and we all have unique stories to tell on our journey and all. But I believe there are some qualities that are like threads woven through everybody's individual experience. But we'll explore this. This is good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I look forward to that.
What just occurred to me, no problem. What just occurred to me listening to you guys is, in a sense, I feel, at least from my perspective, is we continue also the work of, or the approach, at least from Jeffrey, you know, because Jeffrey was really, for me, you know, he kind of normalized a lot of the things. You know, when you're kind of seeking, or you know, when you're reading the spiritual texts or whatever, or looking at some teachers or YouTube videos, you have this, you know, that kind of that idea what it might look like, right? And this is kind of what's holding you back. And then when you know, whatever your experience is, or you have it, that at some point I feel, you know, it becomes, you know, basically what Gary said, it becomes obsolete, right? It's all, you know, it's not so much. To me, the big shift for me actually happened, you know, now that I decide I am on the continuum, or I'm still not, but it became more or less irrelevant, you know. And I've seen this many times in the community, that once the people say, okay, you know, I don't care, they seem to be, you know, on it in a way, and that's the whole paradoxical thing. And that's what I really like about the idea, you know, to you know, just I mean, I don't call it giving them hope or something, but just making it more real, or, you know, oh, I can do this, or, you know, it's not so big of a deal as I may think, you know. That's you know, that's what I love about it. I mean,
that's really a good point. And actually, what Finder's course did for me is, that's number one. I had this experience, but I didn't know what it was. And when you hear, you know, I wasn't really seeking, but when you hear enlightenment or awakening, a lot of people, not just me, have the image of Zen monk or somebody who's studying for a long time, some holy person, Dalai Lama, Eckhart Tolle, or Eckhart Tolle looks more like a normal person, but Dalai Lama or some spiritual person, Pope or whatever. So you have the image. I think a lot of people have that image. But when I went to the course, and you have certain criteria, so maybe sort of Gary was saying kind of common characteristics. So when you read that, like, oh, I have that, I have that, I have that, I have that too. So like, oh, I'm already there. So I did not know that, but it's nice for somebody to tell me that's what it is. That's what I had. And I never put my experience, I never associated my experience with the spirituality. You know, Finder's course is the very first time somebody said, oh, you have this spiritual awakening type of, you know, language. So, oh, that's what I had. But it's not just the name, but also I found this tribe of people who kind of say the same thing. Up until then, I really didn't have anybody to talk to, like anybody understand why I'm not interested in somebody's story. And I don't have much emotion up and down. So I didn't understand that, and nobody could tell me. But with Jeffrey and being in the group, like oh, that's what it is. Oh, thank you very much. Now I feel so normal in this sense.
But isn't that funny? To me, that's really hilarious because first of all, when I heard Jeffrey talk about, for example, that some people don't realize that they are awake, right? I mean, to me, it was like, I mean, how is this possible, right? I mean, there are like books and libraries written about how awesome it is, and then somebody doesn't even, but when you actually meet that person, not just from the description in Jeffrey's book, that becomes even more visceral, and to me, that it was so helpful. I mean, for sure, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And meet all these people, who took the course, and then they don't. I haven't met anybody look like a Dalai Lama or just like a Dalai Lama within this group. And remember, there's Gary with a trident, but he's got this beanie and bees and jackets, and we look normal. Nobody has oh yeah, we can accessorize it. I don't have any today, but I
love that. That's a new catchphrase: accessorize enlightenment. I love that.
Right, but you can play with that too. But the Finders course produced to at least 2,000 people. So there are more and more people in the universe, not universe, on the earth, who have access to this wonderful being state. Well, I don't want to say state, but it's a language. But anyway, we're here. And so I think what I'm doing is kind of looking at different population, and then also do my part to help people access what they already are, realize what they already are, and then so we can have this critical mass in the world. So maybe shift the consciousness of the entire humanity to have a little kind of better world, less conflicts, less war, less drama, less dogma. He killed my grandfather, or so all those build up history and stories, and then maybe things will be a little bit better. Maybe humanity can survive after all. So that's sort of my I don't know, long-term goal or whatever you want to call it. So there's a little bit of that. I just want to do my part. And then I think we have enough experience and the knowledge and approach to serve people and help, give them a little nudge, So that's what I'm hoping that I'm going to do in this course. So
nudging is a good word. Nudging is a good word. I like that word too, because as I say, what's my role? Yeah, well, as I said before, I'm not a teacher, not a guru, or anything, but I can nudge people, nudge them, like just, like wake up, I can do that. And speaking of accessorizing, I couldn't decide for today's show, should I wear my Rudraksha beads or my skull necklace? It was such a hard decision. It was, I don't know what, next time I'll wear my skull necklace. It's this spiritual accessorizing, it's taking its toll on me.
You look wonderful, Gary. You look very, very lovely. You picked just the right accessory, I can tell
One
you
thing
that, from
I
my
won't do,
perspective.
Stefan, one thing I won't do, Stefan, is say namaste. I'm done with that namaste stuff. Forget about it.
I have a question for you, Gary. Do you walk around with the trident? Or is that just,
it's too heavy.
Okay.
I was going to walk around with it because I wanted to impress the neighbors. I really did.
Okay.
But it's so heavy. It's like I can't walk around with it. I was going to use it maybe as a walking stick, but it doesn't work. No,
well, it'll be a great nudger. We'll just like
that's so funny. This is Gary, this is my next level. Sorry, Rebecca. It's like because I'm walking quite a bit and doing, the potato steps, and I'm practicing quite a bit. And I notice when I'm using a walking stick or something or carrying it around, the bicycle drivers, they're much more careful around me because they're kind of, they're sometimes, they don't ring the bell or something and they drive pretty. But when I have my walking stick, but if I imagine running around with a trident, then, I mean, nobody is going to bother me at all, so that's next level. So you're already giving me some ideas, Gary. Thanks, man.
But anybody considering signing up, don't be fearful, don't be scared. We will rein Gary in, and he won't poke you with his trident. He'll be good, I promise.
You're only
If
scratching
you
the
don't
itch.
practice, if you don't practice my guided meditations at home, there are no guarantees.
Yeah, it's more like an energetic nudging with a trident. No, since we're all doomed. But yeah, I like the nudging too. So maybe we can put it in the course description. We're gonna be nudge you and accessorize.
Right. Change my name. I want to be a facilitator. I want to be a nudger.
Trident transformational nudger. TTN this time. Okay, cool.
Sounds like a t-shirt slogan for me.
Right. All right. So it's been about 48 minutes, so we can start wrapping up. So maybe each one of us can say some last word of encouragement for somebody who's kind of thinking about it, but not quite sure if you should do it or not, or whatever you want to say. So Gary, can you start?
Yeah, I can because somebody wrote me with just this question. One of our Finders course people in our community wrote say, "Hey, what's the deal? Do you really think this?" Because he said, I'm kind of not there yet, kind of thing. And I wrote back and said, "Take this course. Yes, you." Because I could look. There are no guarantees. There are no guarantees. But I'm just saying, I could really feel that this is gonna like push you over the edge, and I just really feel sure. And if anybody's like kind of wavering, like, well, I don't know, yeah, I think this again, the nudging thing. I think there's enough stuff here, different variety of stuff. So if you don't find, you don't like this, I don't like this, but you're gonna find something. And you know what? You only need one thing to get you over. That's the way it was in my experience. Just to found the one thing at work. And it's all about whatever works. So you don't need 8 things. You don't need 6 things. You need one thing. And I think you'll find it here. Okay.
Stefan?
Yeah, I mean, to me I find this quite magical how this whole thing came about. It seems like it's kind of unfolding. I mean, everything kind of falls into place. I'm having a really good feeling about it, and I would encourage everybody to check it out because there's so many different approaches, and I really like the structure, the content, and the facilitators. And as I said, I'm ready to learn as much as well as and also from the participant. I mean, obviously we're going to show them something, but it's always, it was always in the course and in the Finders, it was always a two-way street, and even the course participant, it was always kind of a very, very nice process, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. I'm very excited, actually.
Yes, thank you. Rebecca?
Yeah, I'm excited too. I originally went into this just thinking that I would be like a guest speaker one week. And as we got into it, and these wonderful other facilitators, and Eddie has really done a great job of constructing the course, and I've just got more and more interested. And I think you can tell from the way we interact with each other that it's going to be a fun process. It's going to be lighthearted, and just listen to your intuition. If something is telling you like, yeah, this this would be a really good thing to do. Listen to that. And if you have any questions, we're all available by email and through Eddie. So if you have any questions, ask away and we'll do our best to answer them. But, you know, I think it's going to be a neat deal. So hope you join us.
Yes. And I forgot to mention one important thing. There are two levels. One is basic levels that you get all the courses, videos, handouts, plus lots of bonus content from each one of us. And so that's basic course. I'm going to put the link in the comment section. But also if you sign up for the gold level, and so the students have 4 individual coaching or 4 individual sessions with the coach of your choice. So, but the basic is, you know, you get 1 hour coaching with each of us. But if you really want to concentrate on breathing, and then you could get 4 sessions with Stefan if that person chooses to, or Gary or Rebecca. So there's this extra bonus of 1 hour session with one of us or 4 of us, you know, one each time. For 4 times during these 3 months. So maybe about the beginning and at the end of each month, something like that. So that's flexible. So that's the added bonus for the gold level. And again, I put in the link down below. And if you have any questions, let us know. And yeah, I think it's gonna be a fun course. And this is going to nudge you. We're just gonna point you to what you already have. And then whatever doubt you have, like, oh, I'm not there, I can never get there. So we're just gonna try to help you, you know, take off those the doubt. And I put the tagline: stop doubting, be happy now. So a lot of people, you know, it's just the doubt, that the thinking of I'm not there. So we're just gonna try to, you know, make it evaporate, you know, go away, and then be happy now. So so that's our intention. So we're gonna post this. So people can access this video, and that might answer some of the questions. So hope to see you all in our spiritual kindergarten. All right, thank you. Bye for now.